You're very welcome. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
My association with the Beau Nash spans over 50 years. When I was an apprentice at the Ritz Cinema in Penzance in Cornwall with ABC Cinemas, we had to have a relief projectionist doing the rounds when holidays were coming up, because there a stipulation there had to be at least 4 projectionists in the projection room at any one time because of film and changeovers every 20 minutes. And at one stage, this man came along, and his name was John Petherick. Right, so that was in the 50s. So now we go straight now into the 60s and 70s, and we're living in Bath, me and my family, and I was in Bath looking around while my wife was shopping and doing the business, and I saw this bloke standing up with his brown dust coat on, warehouse coat. I looked at him and I recognised him. I thought, it's John Petherick. I introduced myself to him. I said, Harold, Ritz. I said, yes. Slapped me on the back. He said, what are you doing? And right, we introduced. That was my introduction to the Beau Nash Cinema in Bath. But
so what year was that, Harold?
that was in the 60s.
In the 60s,
Yeah. I visited from time to time when I was in the town, and I was welcome. The chief projectionist followed John Petherick, and the chief projectionist then was Malcolm Ford. And he was a chief projectionist there for many, many years. And the times that I spent, I think 77, 78, 2.5 years as a projectionist. It wasn't very long, but over the years with the Beau Nash, it was just a case of visiting. And when I did go there, I think I had 2 machines. You had changeovers from one reel to another every 20 minutes.
Yes.
So a film would arrive in 6 reels, and the chief projectionist and his assistant would spend Monday mornings making up the program. And that's it then for the rest of the week.
For the whole week?
For the whole week.
Okay.
And that was exactly the same as what happened in the Beau Nash when I was there with Malcolm. Right?
Okay.
Saturday nights, we used to have the FTS film transport service.
Yes.
Deliver the films. Okay? On a Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, they would be collected and he would drop off the following week's films. Right. Monday morning, then it would be morning, making up the programme for that week, 6 days. Anybody with birthdays this week, come on stage. So you get about a dozen kids coming on stage, had a birthday this week. Now, in 1 or 2 cases, you see the same boy the following
lots
week.
of birthdays.
You know, but he'd have a different coat on, or he'd be unruly. Anyway, he'd hand out then a birthday card, which was free admission for the following week.
Okay, yes.
Right? It was only 6pence, but
Yes.
I mean, in 1950s, 6pence was
Yes.
6pence. So, the first film would be a cartoon. Goofy, Mickey Mouse,
Yes.
Popeye, Popeye. And then you go into a serial then, and that would be episode 1 of some fancy Western, maybe 2 reels with that, so that would be about 15, maybe 20 minutes, because they were short, they weren't 2,000 foot reels, they were 500 foot or 600 foot reels, because they'd be cut and cut and cut and cut all the time. And then you get the ice cream, then you get a an interval,
Yes.
and then you go into the feature film. And the feature film, a lot of the feature films were by CFF, and that was the Children's Film Foundations.
Okay.
And the opening sequence of that always had a fountain, right? And then CFF would come from the centre of the screen. CFF presents. And they were made for children, by children. And they were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. Now, looking back, the whole lot, you think, God, how awful. But we were kids.
And that was the entertainment at the time.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Saturday mornings, you'd have a 2-hour film amusement for 6 pence.
Wow. Okay, so you spent time at the Beau. Was it that in 1991, 1992 sort of time?
Sound about right around early 90s, yes, yeah.
Right. So what was that like?
Oh, I mean, that was a dream going back and working there, because that was sort of the cinema of my childhood.
Yeah.
So it was we had show films like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Doc Hollywood. It was all around that sort of time. And that was great. So there was 3 of us in the projection room, and it was all single manning. But I say there again, we had things like, you had to go around and check the light bulbs and things, and it was really good when it was busy, because they'd very rarely open the balcony. So, and generally people would sit sort of almost underneath the balcony and from down to about halfway. And from the projection you couldn't see anybody, because you could only see the front stalls and the balcony.
So it always looked like it was empty.
It was like there's never anybody in here. So when you did see people, it was like, oh, it's busy down there, because they're filling the seats up. That was great.
Can you remember the most popular film there when you were there?
I think it was probably Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
I think we showed that for weeks and got so sick of hearing the music on the end of it. And because there was no automation, so we had to wait there to put the lights up and close the curtains and that. So you had to be there. So you heard, oh, it's this one again.
Oh no. Was it kind of generally back-to-back films, or would you have long periods of time where it was just you and the other 2 projectionists sort of, taking it easy?
It was all single manning.
Right,
So
okay.
there was only one of us there at a time.
At a time.
Unless there was something special going on. And we did 2 shifts, sort of one during the day, and something from about 4 o'clock, I think, 4 till 10. And the manager at the time lived in Swindon. He used to come in on the train. So all the films had to be off before his last train at 10:20. So they were generally off about 10 o'clock, 10:10 the absolute latest, otherwise he couldn't get home.
Right.
So,
Having
that
to
was
sleep
quite
in
good.
the cinema,
Yeah.
I imagine.
So it was quite good, because then you could go out and the pubs were still open, so we could go and get a drink.
Ideal.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.